Okay, this week you're going to go over GitHub and committing your first repo to GitHub. You already got a GitHub username and password on the Macs in the computer lab at RVC. At the bottom, there's a GitHub app. Looks like this right here. You click on it to get it started and running. Go to GitHub Desktop, Preferences, and then Accounts. And you'll log in like I have here. Once you log in, it'll have your username, your GitHub username, and you're now logged in. If you do have a Mac at home, you can download the GitHub app at the github.com website. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this. I'm going to start a brand new Xcode project. We're going to call it GitHub. So I'm starting Xcode, going to the File menu, New, Project. Single view application is fine. Click Next. Project name, GitHub. Make sure your team looks like mine. Organization name, same as mine. Swift for language. Universal on devices. Click Next. I'm going to save mine to my desktop. You can do the same on yours. Double click desktop over here. Click Create. Click on My Storyboard. And we're just going to bring a label into this. Is all we're going to do. And put some information on it. So drag a label into the view. Double click on it and put my first repo, standing for my first repository. So let's center that in the middle. Let's do a Control R or Command R on the Mac. That'll compile it. So the app is very basic, just to show how to create a repository in GitHub is what this podcast is about. At the end of the podcast, it'll show you here in just a second how to create your first repo in GitHub, publish it, get a URL, and submit it in week 5 assignment. And it's ran correctly here. So now I'm going to go ahead and stop GitHub or Xcode. Go to the Xcode menu, click Quit Xcode, exit out of my simulator, and I'm going to reposition my windows here to where my GitHub window is to the left on my Mac and my desktop is on my right. Okay, so let's find the GitHub folder that was created. There it is right there. So I'm going to take this GitHub folder, click and drag it into the GitHub app, and you'll notice a little green plus symbol on your screen, on my screen. What that means is you can now add it. It's getting ready to add it to GitHub. So I'm going to release the mouse. Then this should pop up saying the folder is not a repository with the path of the folder. Would you like to create a new Git repository here? Click Create and Add. Now down here at the bottom, if you don't see what I see here on mine, make sure you've clicked on the tab up here that says 11 uncommitted changes. Yours might say a little bit more or less, but it's around that number. Under summary, I want you to type in your first initial last name, first repo. Click on the commit to master button here that I'm circling with my mouse. Then up here, click publish where my mouse is hovering. Click the publish button. Then you'll be prompted to keep this public or private if you've set up a .edu repo. If you've not set up an educational repo, it'll look just like mine. If you did set up an educational repo, you'll have this option of keeping it private. You want to make sure and uncheck it if you do have that option, so it is public. So I'll go back to my TrueCon one. So on the name, GitHub, I want you to put in the description, my first GitHub repo. Then click Publish Repository. After it finishes publishing, go to the repository menu in GitHub, push one time, and you'll see it pushing over here. Once it's finished pushing, and the sync button shows up again, go to repository menu again, down to view on GitHub. And here's the repo, that your first repo that you just created. If you click on the one commit area over here, it'll show you that repo that you just committed. To go back, just click on GitHub, on the link GitHub. Now at the very top of the web browser, where you should have now github.com, your username /GitHub, highlight that entire URL, copy it, and in this week's week 5, you're going to go down. I have one assignment in here. I'm going to click on modules to see it. Click on modules and RBC Eagle to see this. Go down to week 5. And you'll click on the create first GitHub repo. And here's where you're going to submit that link. And so that concludes week 5 and the assignment for week 5. Use the rest of the week to work on anything you've got yet to turn in. Also maybe putting some more thought and starting maybe the layout on Xcode of your final app. If you have any questions, email me as always. Otherwise, see you next week.